Okay, here we are. NEWSPASTY. And what's this? Oh, it's Donald Trump. And this should be fun. I've not seen this before. I got my hands over my eyes. I'm not sure if you can see because, well, you'd have to be looking through my window to see, seeing as I'm not on camera. But I have my fingers over my eyes. My nose might sound funny because it's being crushed by my hands because I can't watch. Oh, my God. Who is it? It's the Times. Oh, don't worry. Isn't the Times Murdoch? He should tell us the truth, shouldn't he? This
This
guy.
is the most serious threat to the American system in my lifetime, not because of one man named Donald Trump.
Which threat and which way round? What is the threat? They're using a crooked and corrupt American legal system and the infrastructure and the actors who control and manipulate American society through the American legal system to fell Donald Trump, or is the problem Donald Trump? I get a feeling I know which one it is, because the mainstream media are all going to be barking out this tune now.
But because of a number of folks who are trying to say it doesn't matter what our judicial system is, it doesn't matter about the correct operation of our political system, it doesn't matter about a decent American society. At the end of the day, you scream witch hunt, and everybody should jump to that tune.
Pasty. I scream pasty, and everybody should jump to that fucking tune. Oh, well, we have witch hunts now, but they don't go anywhere, do they? Because no one listens and no one gives a shit, and the whole political system is undermined already over and over and over again. So people have screamed witch hunt when there's been witches, and no one's done anything about the witches. Do you see? It's the boy who cried witch, the famous, one of the most famous of all the parables, I'm sure.
Donald Trump facing, well, 4 charges over his attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
The presidential election. Oh, well, I get a feeling this guy's from a public school, isn't he?
And for his role in the riot at the US Capitol in the days before he left the White House. So
bring out Wadwick! We want Wadwick!
Far, he's the only defendant.
This guy worked for the radio.
Charges, but the indictment cites 6 unnamed co-conspirators, including a lawyer said to be willing to spread knowingly false claims and pursue strategies. Well, Jack Smith...
What? A lawyer willing to spread false claims? Of course! There's loads of lawyers out there. I've just done the Pottinger series. You know who that's about? It's about a lawyer. And you know what? He's not very nice. He hangs around with people who aren't very nice, and they do lots of dirty things. You see, 50% of the people, if you imagine 50% of people who commit crimes or who go to court are criminals and 50% are innocent. Imagine that. Imagine that. Well, there's lawyers representing both of them. In actual fact, a lot of lawyers represent each side just willy-nilly, randomly all over. I'm a defense lawyer. Oh, are you? Yeah, I'll be defending this guy and then going to prosecute a guy who's very similar to him later, honestly. Yeah.
It is the special counsel overseeing the investigation. And this is the moment he announced the charges.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6th, 20...
Oh, don't cite January 6th if you want a serious news. Oh, the party in the park. That January 6th. The one didn't the Deftones come out of retirement to play? That was a random band to pull out of the blue. There you go. Wasn't there festivities? Wasn't there people who were slowly funneling the angry protesters towards a very understaffed, purposely understaffed area? Isn't that what happened? Isn't that what they wanted? Isn't that what happened? Yes. A lot of people who were let into a building, they weren't allowed to go in, and were led to that building. It seemed like a very pre-planned operation, but to be perfectly honest, most things in American politics on both sides are pre-planned operations, aren't they? Operations going wrong, operations going right. But if you want to say January the 6th is the worst moment in modern American history, well, you sound like Victoria Nuland or someone, don't you?
21 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy.
He sounds like he's still squitty bum about it. It sounds like he's still so angry that he is going to do a poo. He sounds like, oh God, my stomach hasn't been right since. I just can't push it out. It always feels like I'm gonna poo, but I never poo. Stevens.
As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies.
Lies!
Lies
Lies on all sides. A pox on both your houses.
by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government,
No.
the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
It's dodgy
That
as
was
hell.
Jack Smith overnight. Well, let's try to get a sense of exactly how
Is that his
serious
name?
all of this
Do you hear his name? Jack Smith Overnight. That's a cool name. I mean, I would like to be called Overnight. That's what I'm going to be called now. Johnny Vedmore Overnight. No, let's just go Johnny Vedmore underwear.
This is for Donald Trump. Scott Lucas is a professor of American Studies at the University College Dublin's Clinton
Is he, though? Clinton. No, he's not going to say Clinton.
Institute and joins us now. Hi, Scott.
Very good to be here, Matt. Thank you.
Oh,
So
look
just
at
take
this
us through,
guy.
first of all, what exactly is it
First of all, can you sing us folk songs and then take us to the tent alone?
that Donald Trump is being accused of, and what isn't he being accused of?
So, Matt, the 4 felony counts that are set out,
This
are
guy looks like
technically
he's got.
the conspiracy to defraud the United States.
Wait a minute.
conspiracy-
Okay, wait. Again, listen, I've been silly lately. Okay. Paranoid is a word. It's a word. I didn't know that paranoid was a word, yeah. Clinton Institute is University College Dublin. I don't understand. Is it called Institute? Have they called it Institute, or is that a spelling mistake? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. This guy, look around. Let's have a look. He's got his earbuds in. You still see your earbuds. There you go. He's got something. He's got his diploma or something on the wall, and a picture of him and his beaver. I'm sure that's. Oh no! We guess what animal it is. Who's a cat fan then? Who's a cat fan? This guy's gonna sing us folk songs about cats. Should we sing folk songs about cats? Let's see if he gives us any clues to singing folk songs about cats.
To defraud the United States, conspiracy to defraud rights of individuals,
Conspiracy to
and
love a
obstruction and
cat
conspiracy to obstruct
like it was a
government
human.
investigation. Now, what those charges all relate to and what the indictment sets out, I think the way to explain it to myself is what we have here is a 4-phase
With a little bowl of milk. That's the best way to explain it. With a little bowl of milk. There's a lot of cats in the background, is what I'm saying.
plan. You might even call it a plot to seize and hold on to
plot.
power despite losing the 2020 election. Phase 1 began on election.
What you're saying? He plotted. He's saying, he's saying, if not a plot. Wait, okay, I'm confused. We're gonna have to go back a little bit, and he's gonna have to say it again. I think he's reading off whatever piece of paper has been put in front of him now. He's been worried about doing this interview for ages, so he's been reading what he has to do, and he's still looking down at his notes. Let's hear it.
What we have here is a 4-phase plan. You might even call it a plot to seize and hold on to power despite.
Right, he said it's a 4-phase plan. You might even call it a plot. What's the difference between a plan and a plot, you idiot? Can you tell me what the difference between a plot and a plan to this man would be? Because I don't understand.
Losing the 2020 election. Phase 1 began on election night when you had Donald Trump put out.
I'm sure this guy
false.
fiddles
He knew they were
cats.
false claims, that there was massive electoral fraud. He
How can
and
you know
his
they're
lawyers,
false?
including 2 who are co-conspirators, and I do know their names.
You
if want
made
to have them
co-conspirators.
in the document.
Desperate to
Continued
name
for
them.
weeks to put out this disinformation, leading to phase 2, which was the pressure on individual states, the governors, the legislatures, to replace the legally chosen Biden electors with fake electors.
What? I don't quite understand legally chosen Biden electors. There's a lot of wording here. There's a lot of careful wording. So you're saying a few guys, they all got together with their handlebar moustaches, and while twiddling the ends, they said, "Hey, see, we're going to do this. What a plot." It wasn't that they believed that the election was rigged, because the Clintons rig everything they touch. Everything they touch turns to rigged. Except for Vince Foster, who's dead.
That were selected by Trump, thus tipping the Electoral College in his favor. When that failed, Trump tried to put pressure on the Justice Department through another co-conspirator
Another
to
crooked
declare the election
part of
invalid.
America.
And then when that failed, he and his inner circle put pressure on Vice President Mike Pence to rule out the legitimate election on January the 6th, 2021, when Congress met to certify the results, and instead proclaim that Trump's fake electors should be installed.
Right, there's a problem here, though, is that what's proved to be now is that they were installing a man who was not physically fit to be in office, and they were doing everything in their means to do so, and you won't investigate and of course the things like the CIA and others in the background are trying to create something. Other agencies are trying to create something against Trump at the same time, because he doesn't fit the narrative, does he? He doesn't fit the game. He's supposedly playing a bit of different game, or maybe that's his game, to look like he's supposedly playing a different game. Irrelevant it is, because the actions will be taken against him, like this guy who's saying a lot of things. He's saying a lot of things, but none of them really add up to much.
Mike Pence refused to do that, and that's when Donald Trump went to his supporters outside the White House and said,
If Donald Trump believes that the election is rigged, and it's going to be rigged, even if he believes it beforehand, imagine he has an irrational belief of the Clintons rigging elections. Imagine Donald Trump thinks that the Clintons, maybe Freudian, maybe somehow crooked. The crooked Clintons could somehow be crooked, or the Clintons, sorry, could somehow be crooked Clintons. I mean, the Clintons who are crooked could somehow be crooked Clintons, is what I mean. That thought could have gone into everybody in Trump's campaign beforehand, and they're like, well, we're against such a crooked lot who are going to be backing up this guy who's senile as hell, that it's probably going to be a load of crooked stuff all over the place. The Clintons are going to be involved. Biden's going to be involved. We all know Obama was doing stuff. The whole Democratic establishment was trying to put a spanner in the works. So what do you expect to happen? What do you think Trump thought? Trump thought well beforehand, this is going to be rigged and crooked, and then if people look at it, you'll be able to see it's been rigged and it's crooked, and you are not letting people look at it. I think there's a point there that you saying he doesn't know it's true when he knows it's true is all a matter of opinion, and opinion doesn't make for good court cases, does it?
How serious are these offences? You know, in the, I mean, they're clearly serious, but you know, because they relate to democracy. But in sort of legal terms,
40 counts
democracy. But in sort of legal terms, you know, because they relate to democracy. But in sort of you know, because they relate to democracy. But in you know, because they relate to democracy. But in you know, because they relate to democracy. But in you know, because they relate to democracy. But
so it seems like because he has the lisp and he's on the radio, that he just sometimes leaves out R's that feel uncomfortable. So democracy becomes democracy. Ah, I love this. I love it.
I mean, they're clearly serious, but you know, because they relate to democracy. But in sort of legal terms,
40 counts.
Hello, welcome to democracy. We take it out of
from the White House
democracy.
in June's indictment. Each of the counts under the Espionage Act carries up to 10 years in prison. So he was already facing hundreds.
I think you'll find it carries up to 10 years in prison.
2 years in prison in technically.
I have a list,
practice,
so I mean, I'm just
now,
making fun of my
even
own
though
people.
they're felony counts, they are extremely serious. They carry
Only
multiple years
people
in
with
prison,
speech impediments can make fun of other people.
Conspiracy to defraud the United States, which is just short, to really put it in blunt terms, of a treason charge. So Donald
but it's
Trump
a charge.
is
It's not
someone
proven.
who, if
You
he
got to
was not
prove it,
Donald
haven't
Trump,
you?
I think the legal jeopardy would be someone who'd be behind bars for a very long time if.
This is the rhetoric. There'll be, if it's the one Donald Trump, then it'd be blah, 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 blah. Well, in that case, there's the whole Democratic Party. Look on the other side at the people who were against him. Nearly everybody in that party should be in jail for something. In fact, all of this stuff is just like gangsters versus gangsters, isn't it?
Convicted. Of course, since it's Donald Trump, we're going to have politics, which is going to try to interfere with and even try to bury
Sorry, because it's Donald Trump. If it was the other side, Biden, you wouldn't have politics. These are politicians. I'm not sure if this guy's thought through his sentence. Because of Donald Trump, you'd have politics. Because of anyone who's in politics, you'd have politics.
This legal process.
And in terms of the response from Donald Trump, he's compared his persecution to 1930s Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, or other dictatorial regimes, saying that the Jack Smith, the special counsel, the Justice Department, and the Biden administration are conspiring to derail his attempt to return to the White House. I mean, to some extent, this is a flaw.
Yeah, but why would you have to take the whales out of the White House? He said you have to de-whale the attempt. I don't understand what that means.
Or in the American justice system, that everyone in it is politicized all the time. It's not it's not particular to this case. He's trying to weaponize it by.
That's what I'm saying. But this guy's saying taking the long route round because he's trying to be really polite to someone that he needs to put on, and not be too much of a journalist. I mean, don't ask him too many questions. Say, well, what's the dog you got in the fight? Because you seem pretty intent on only looking at one side. So which side are you on?
Saying that Biden's Department of Justice should be once again indicted me in emails and using it as a campaigning tool. Is it a problem? Is there politics being played out in this? Can it all be dismissed as a Democrat plot?
It's just a serious.
Oh, he went round the mulberry bush. He went round the mulberry bush, but he got there in the end. Could this all be? And look at his little, it's almost like Duper's Delight, isn't it? I know I say it in a few, but when he's he's satisfied with himself at the end. He's managed to get to the question without offending his guest too much, and without the audience working out what they're doing. And he has a little smile, a little tiny smile come up. So watch the end of it.
Politics being played out in this. Can it all be dismissed as a Democrat plot?
It's just a serious problem if the media, instead of sticking with the facts of the case, instead of sticking with the need to
keep the
legal process separate from the politics, and
he's talking to the media,
becomes a megaphone for what Donald Trump says, not only on this occasion, but on each and every occasion.
But wouldn't that be the same for the other way? If the media being negative that it's a megaphone for Donald Trump, if you can't mention witch hunt, Donald Trump can't have a defense, it becomes a megaphone for the other side. And then the other side will say, well, if the media just becomes a megaphone for the blah, 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 which is what's happening right now. So asking that question is there's a lot of projection here, isn't there? Lots of projection. When anybody lies, they usually use some sort of truth about themselves within a lie about someone else. This is a fact. I've seen it over and over again. Seen it in my life and others. Seen it.
He's been indicted, or possibly could have been indicted.
Oh, those patriots.
Going back to the Trump-Russia scandal. Look, Donald Trump and his supporters, those who are with him come hell or high water, have attacked, in previous cases as well as this one, the prosecutor, the judge's wife.
When you say attacked, what do you mean? You're just talking about verbally said that all of these people are somehow connected because there's a conspiracy. And if you investigate each of these people individually, what do you find? I'd be very interested to find out.
Grand juries. They said this is a plot of Democrats, radicals, extremists, professors like myself, as well, of course, as Joe Biden.
Doesn't mean it's not a plot. That would be what he's doing here, is posing a logical fallacy. He's saying because you could say, oh, it's a plot about anybody, that a plot doesn't exist. This is the logical fallacy he's using.
That's Trump's tactics in the era of social media. He's gotten away with it for a number of years, but I'm just going to give you one fundamental. And it's something actually that a guy named Mike Pence said. You remember?
Okay. Something Mike Pence said. Okay, I'm going to guess some of the things randomly. I'm going to try and tell you what. I'm going to try and hone Mike Pence and try and work out what some of the things he would said that would have been wise. So here we go. I'm just randomly. This is not thought about this before. So what comes out? I only paid for the mango and I got the rest free. Oh, God. I'm sorry to have wasted all of your time. I can't hone into Mike Pence at all, or maybe that was perfect.
For him, vice president under Donald Trump, someone who faced calls to be hung on January 6th by Trumpists, Pence said Donald Trump is presumed
someone who would turn on Trump in 2 minutes, which we all know. Mike Pence was the dagger in the background. Look at this. Look at this. He could actually be going for the backstab here. Is he going for the backstab?
Innocent until proven guilty. Absolutely right. But he also said no person is above the Constitution. No person is above the legal system. This is the most serious threat to the
lie. That's a lie. There's loads of people who are above it. All of these fixers, all of these guys, as long as they got their mates around them, they are all above it. They're all above they can get away with it. They just got to traverse it in loads of different ways, but they got the money to traverse it and they all know it. They'll all get away with it in the end.
In my lifetime, not because of one man named Donald Trump, but because of a number of folks who are trying to say, it doesn't matter what our judicial system is, it doesn't matter about the correct operation of our political system, it doesn't matter about a decent American society. At the end of the day, you scream witch hunt, and everybody should jump to that tune.
Yes, everybody should jump to that tune. If you scream witch hunt, then you have a look and see if there's a witch hunt. Now, if there's not a witch hunt, you'll find out by having a look. You see where I'm going with this. If there is a witch hunt, you'll also find out by investigating. Okay, shall we imagine what the difference is between not investigating and investigating? What do you find out if you don't investigate? You don't find out anything. You don't find out anything. You stay in the dark. What do you find out if you investigate? Or you find something out. Who should you investigate? How about everyone? When a claim's made, you investigate everyone. Okay, what does that mean? Well, ask questions of the ones you support as well as the ones you don't, which is the key, key to fairness, key to law, and key to justice, key to everything in your own life, in our own existence. And I really mean this, a bit of wisdom. Hey, if you spend all your time pointing at someone and hating them because of somebody else, look at that other person too. See, because honestly, when people get angry, they get pointed, they get pushed in situations, they get pressurized by the group and the gang to hate. So they're all busy hating Trump. They don't even know what they're supporting though, because they won't turn around and look right next to him.
Scott Lucas, really good to speak to you, Professor of American Studies at University College Dublin's Clinton Institute. Responding to that news, Donald Trump charged with 4 federal offences: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct Congress's certification of Joe Biden's electoral victory on January the 6th, 2021, obstruction, and conspiracy against the right to vote.
Well, everyone loves the right to vote. I like the right to vote. Do you? No, I don't bother doing it. And why don't I do it? Because I know better now. Because I've investigated them all and discovered they've all been put into power partially by CIA-funded programs of the past. Yes, all of you guys, all of your lovely World Economic Forum, young global leaders, you know where you come from. You're all Kissinger's boys, really. It's just a conduit, couple of conduits in between you and the CIA. You know they love the CIA.
Shaping a great reset for the post-corona era.